The 290 today, we talked about some standouts in yesterday's matchup between Vegas and Minnesota, game where we saw Minnesota once again. They dominated and control a lot of the game, and they were able to come away with a 5-2 victory. And surprisingly, because I originally had Vegas in five, and part of that reasoning was I wasn't sure how Kaprizov was going to play coming to this. I wasn't sure how Boldy was going to play coming into this, even knowing how well he's played in the regular season. And there were some other players who were question marks to me, but Minnesota's just proved me wrong. And they've been one of those teams who has proven a lot of people wrong, including me. And I definitely thought that Minnesota, I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't sure what they were going to be heading into the playoffs and come game one, but clearly that narrative is different. And the way they've played the game, the first few games so far against Vegas, essentially they've been playing Vegas style of hockey, but it's been for Minnesota. And that's what I find really fascinating and really unique is they basically beat Vegas at how they play. And they've just counteracted that by doing the same thing. And it's worked and it's really clicked so far for them. I don't have a definitive answer as to how the rest of the series is going to go. And by the looks of it so far, it looks like Minnesota is going to run away with it. And I would be really curious to see what happens moving on and moving forward. I think there's a lot more potential for Vegas to come back and to make an impact, but the odds are getting slimmer and slimmer and slimmer. It seems like every game now. And so that's a little concerning on Vegas' side. But as for Minnesota, I mean, the two guys that obviously are really noticeable all the time for them, Matt Boldy and Kirill Kaprizov. Two guys. Matt Boldy's had more of a coming out party than ever, and we knew Boldy was a good player. I think this is the year that we've seen him finally take another step, another big step in his game, and I think long term it's gonna continue to only go up for him and he's turning into a legit power forward in the game, who is one of the top power forwards in the game now, I would say. And I think it's really unique, the blend of size, skills, speed, and tenacity that he has, and the all-around ability that he has. And he's still only 24. He's still got a long way to go, and he's already getting really, really close to his full potential. And I think there's even more that we could see from him long term. So it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, Matt Boldy, I just really like his game. I really like his ability to be involved in all facets of the game and how well-rounded he is and how much of a asset he is to Minnesota as well. And then outside those two, I mean, Marco Rossi is an obvious one to talk about just because of how not only productive he was in the regular season, but he has still shown really well in the playoffs so far, and I think he's been underrated in that sense because of obviously the attention that Boldy and Kaprizov are getting. But Rossi's been really underrated, has been driving a lot of plays and making a lot of really nice plays, and has been able to really execute in transition a lot of the time too. And then Zeev Buium, who has clearly made an impact in this series so far. He got a point yesterday. He's looked more comfortable game by game, moving the puck and being able to transition pucks up ice. I think he brings an element on their young decor they don't necessarily have. I mean, you can argue Brock Faber brings similar things, but with William, he's more of a transition, direct north moving defenseman and a guy who plays direct hockey moving north. And he plays direct moving up ice. He plays direct in his off puck play. He plays direct in his on puck play. And he's a guy that brings a lot of versatility in how he plays the game defensively and also offensively. And being able to transition pucks up ice and being able to be active not only in transition but in the O zone and being able to position himself well and just be active in all facets of the game is something that he does a really good job with, and he's really noticeable with all the time as well. I think what I really like about his game is how he moves and how he's able to use deception. I think when you talk about deception and weight shifts and how defenders use their feet nowadays, you think of the smaller type defenseman, but Williams a 6 foot defenseman and not necessarily small by any means. And but he still has that high level of weight shifts, the fakes, the maneuvers to be able to get around pressure, get around one-on-ones, and to be able to beat guys pretty easily. I think that's something that's really underrated in his game is how he's able to do that so regularly, especially given his stature and his height, and he's able to do it so effortlessly, it seems like all the time as well. And then for Vegas's side, Noah Hannafin, there weren't many standouts for them, but I thought Noah Hannafin played a good game and a good transition game, a good offensive game. He showed well defensively, a little inconsistent, but more so in transition offensively is where you notice him and where you notice him make an impact, and he does that regularly too. And very reliable moving up ice in those situations. Riley Smith had a goal in this game for them. I thought he's been effective so far and has been able to generate offense and be able to make plays and be reliable as more of a middle six type guy on this team, I would say. And has filled that role really well and has been able to not only transition pucks up ice with speed, but also just be able to generate in the ozone and be able to cycle plays, maneuver pressure, and be able to create in one-on-one situations as well.